Heartwarming journey, little girl's incredible 30-day quest to find her mom transforms grumpy veteran's life. 8-year-old Emma stood under the sweltering sun in Maplewood, clutching her colorful "Finding Mom" flyers. Her heart raced with hope. The whispers of the townsfolk danced in the air, but she refused to let their judgment cloud her determination. To Emma, finding her mother meant more than just a reunion, it was about mending a broken family, showing love could break through the darkness. Emma's grandmother, with her silver hair and tired eyes, had always been there, filling their little house with warmth and tales of the past. Yet the shadow of Emma's estranged mother loomed like a storm cloud. She was a ghost in their lives, lost to addiction, a tragic story that had become a fresh scar within their hearts. With every ounce of resilience she could muster, Emma decided she would find her. As she skipped through the familiar streets, each step echoing with memories, she knocked on doors, visited local shops, and shared her flyers, each encounter coloring her quest. Old Mrs. Wiggins at the bakery offered her warm cookies and whispered about the last time she'd seen Emma's mom. Mr. Thompson, the grumpy school principal, raised his brow at the flyer, casting disapproving looks that made Emma swallow her breath, but she pressed on. In a world filled with whispers, Emma's bright spirit shone through, drawing out tales of her mother interwoven with judgment. Then came Mr. Harper. The stoic veteran lived down the street, where his porch sat neglected and his heart even more so. He was a living statue of sorrow, the kind of man people spoke of in hushed tones. Yet, as Emma approached, her bright eyes searched for something within his hardened exterior. She offered him a flyer, her little voice steady, "I'm looking for my mom." At first, he merely grunted, turning his gaze to the ground. But something in that small girl, her fearless hope, began to crack the walls of his solitude. Slowly, he started to share his story of loss, and Emma listened, seeing how his heartache mirrored her own. In those quiet moments, they began to create makeshift Finding Mom signs together, each laugh piercing through the weight of their frowns. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days passed, and the bond between Emma and Mr. Harper deepened. The townsfolk began to soften too, whispers turned into encouraging nods. But beneath the surface, doubt simmered. Would her mother even want to be found? Emma wrestled with the complexity of love and hurt, wondering if she could ever forgive the woman who left. Just as despair began to threaten her resolve, a friend from school said she heard a rumor her mom might be living in a nearby town. Emma's heart thudded. Could it be true? The day approached when she might hold her mother in her arms once again. But what if her mother had moved on without her? As Emma looked in the mirror, her flyer trembling in her hand, the flicker of doubt burned through her. She took a deep breath all the same, ready to chase hope. What lay ahead when she finally found her mother? Would love be enough to heal the wounds of time? As dawn broke over Maplewood, hues of orange and pink painted the sky. Emma stood at her window, her heart racing. The rumor hung heavily in her mind, her mom might be nearby. She had dreamed of this moment, the one that could finally change everything. After finishing breakfast, Emma turned to her grandmother, who was sipping tea like it could dissolve the worry lines furrowing her brow. "Grams, I think I want to go to Westfield today," Emma announced, her voice quivering with excitement. The other kids said they saw Mom there. Her grandmother's expression tightened. "Emma, sweetie. I just want to be sure you're safe. But I can do this. Please." Emma's eyes sparkled with longing, filled with a mixture of hope and fervor. Graham sighed, caught between wanting to protect and allowing her granddaughter to spread her wings. "Okay, but you take Mr. Harper with you. You remember what I said about not going alone?" Emma jumped from her seat, the weight of doubt lifting. Mr. Harper. Her unlikely ally, the grumpy veteran who had become a gentle giant in her eyes. It was as if she had known him forever. With her heart pounding and a backpack filled with flyers, Emma dashed to Mr. Harper's house, excitement propelling her every step. She knocked eagerly on his door. At first, silence. But gradually, his familiar silhouette appeared. "Mr. Harper. I need your help. I think I found a lead on my mom." His furrowed brow softened at her enthusiasm. "What's the plan?" "We're going to Westfield." Emma beamed, directing her sparkling gaze toward the horizon where dreams awaited. On the short ride there, the car hummed in a comfortable silence. Emma kept glancing at Mr. Harper, who seemed lost in thought. She couldn't help but wonder what memories danced in his mind, what loss had shaped him into the man he was. As they arrived in Westfield, the air buzzed with possibilities. Colors swirled from storefronts, laughter echoed in the streets, and children played without a care in the world. It felt alive, a stark contrast to Emma's somber little house in Maplewood. But could her mother be hidden within this vibrant tapestry? "Where do we start?" Mr. Harper asked, pulling Emma back from her observations. "I think the park," Emma replied, a plan already brewing in her mind. The park was often a gathering place. She recalled her mother smiling at a food truck, the smell of fried onions drifting in the air as they shared laughter on a warm summer day. The park bustled with families. As they walked, each face became a puzzle piece in Emma's heart. Could one of them belong to her mother? She felt adrenaline pulsing as they approached a small playground. "Mom!" she shouted, her voice filled with hope as she turned to the myriad of strangers. No one responded. Mr. Harper's hand rested gently on her shoulder, urging her to keep moving. Emma's heart sank, but she remembered the warmth he often brought. Maybe it was still okay to hope. "Let's check around the swings," he suggested, leading the way. Each step felt pivotal to Emma, like the closer she got, the more she could sense the possibility. Moments stretched like chewing gum as the two scanned faces, smiles stretching into bleak reminders. But then they spotted someone, a woman with curly hair and a familiar laugh that echoed like a melody from Emma's childhood. Was it her? As they approached, the woman turned around. Emma's breath caught in her throat, her heart pounding like a drum. Would this woman be the missing piece of her heart, the woman she had longed to see? Or would she only bring more questions than answers? Emma stood frozen, her heart filled with hope and fear. What would she say? Would she even recognize her? With a rush of courage, she took a step forward, ready to face whatever lay ahead, but just as she reached out, a phone rang. Caught at the intersection of fate and fear, would this be the moment to reclaim her mother? Or would it slip away once more? The ringing phone shattered the brief silence, and Emma's heart raced. Was it fate or merely distraction? She hesitated, her fingers brushing against the cool metal of the playground's swings. In a world that had felt so empty and longing, this moment felt both electrifying and terrifying. The woman turned back to her phone, and the laughter that had once sounded so familiar faded into the background of the bustling park. Emma's dreams wavered, a fine mist of uncertainty clouding their vivid images. Mr. Harper leaned closer, his presence grounding her. "Do you know her?" he whispered, his voice steady despite the storm of emotions swirling around them. Emma shook her head. She didn't know, but she felt deep down that she had to try. "Just follow my lead," he encouraged, nudging her gently. Emma drew a breath thick with hope, her courage battling the fear that crept up her spine. Maybe this was it. Maybe this was her chance. Before she could second-guess herself, she stepped forward again, this time steadying her trembling legs. "Excuse me," Emma called out, her voice rising above the surrounding laughter. The woman lowered her phone, a look of surprise crossing her face as she turned back to Emma. Emma's heart leaped. There was something in her eyes. Maybe it was just a glimmer of recognition. "Are you my mom?" The words escaped her lips before she could ponder the weight of them. The woman stepped back, a mix of shock and uncertainty flickering across her features. I'm sorry, "But I think you might have the wrong person," she replied hesitantly. Emma felt the ground beneath her start to shift. It was like stepping on the edge of a cliff. All the dreams, the hopes, the hours spent imagining this moment were suddenly teetering on the brink of heartbreak. But before she could retreat into a shell of disappointment, Mr. Harper spoke up. "Ma'am, this is a sensitive matter for her. Could you please just meet her gaze? A moment?" His voice was calm, steady, oozing the wisdom of someone who had faced battles of heart and soul. Both women's eyes locked, and an uncomfortable pause filled the air. Emma thought she detected a softening in those eyes, a flicker of something. Was it sorrow? Regret? Longing? The woman seemed lost in thought, her expression wavering like a candle flame in the wind. "I'm sorry," she said softly, shaking her head. "I really wish I could help." Emma's breath felt caught in her throat. What if this was her chance, and it was slipping away? "Please. Just look at me. One more time," she cried, her voice trembling. At that moment, something shifted. The woman stepped forward, taking Emma's hand between hers. You remind me so much of someone I used to know. I'm sorry. I wish I could help, I really do." Emma's heart plummeted. This woman was not her mother, after all. All the flowers of hope that had blossomed within her began to wilt at the edges. She held tight to the woman's hand, feeling the warmth of human connection but also the weight of loss. "Thank you," Emma whispered, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "Thank you for listening." As the woman stepped back, a subtle resolve settled over her. "You're strong. Keep looking for her," she said softly before turning and walking away. Emma's heart sank, but Mr. Harper rubbed her shoulder gently. "It's okay, Emma. You'll find her. We'll keep searching." But just then, a stirring commotion erupted nearby. It was as if someone had flicked a switch. Laughter turned to shouting, and a crowd was gathering around a food truck, the scent of fried onions filling the air. Emma's pulse quickened anew. "Let's check that out," Mr. Harper said, pointing toward the gathering. "Maybe it's a sign." Emma hesitated, torn between the heartache of the moment and the tugging curiosity that refused to be silenced. "Maybe I'll find more pieces of her there," she murmured as they walked on. With every step, a fresh wave of hope ignited within her. Maybe this search was far from over. Maybe life had more surprises in store. As they approached the crowd, laughter and chatter filled the air. But what she didn't expect was the face she would see next, a face that might just hold the key to her past. Would her heart be ready for what lay ahead? Emma wove through the thickening crowd, her heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. The aroma of fried onions and sweet funnel cakes wafted through the air, mingling with laughter and chatter, enveloping her in a chaotic warmth. She took a steadying breath, trying to open her senses to everything around her. This could be another chance. Mr. Harper was at her side, his presence a steady anchor amidst the storm of emotions swirling within her. They pushed their way closer to the food truck, where bright colors and bubbling sounds created a festive atmosphere. But Emma's gaze was focused, darting over the faces in the crowd, searching for something or someone that could fill the empty spaces inside her heart. Suddenly, she stumbled to a halt. Her breath caught. A young woman was standing just a few feet away, busy chatting and laughing with friends, clutching a bright red drink adorned with a straw. There was a familiarity about her, something that ignited a spark deep within Emma. "Do you see her?" Mr. Harper asked softly, noticing Emma's frozen gaze. The young woman laughed, tilting her head back, and Emma felt a pull, like a string tugging at the very center of her being. That laugh reached out like a lifeline from an ocean of grief, wrapping around her heart. "Something's different," Emma whispered, her fingers curling tighter around Mr. Harper's arm. "I have to talk to her." "Go ahead," he urged gently. "I'll be right here." Taking a deep breath, Emma pushed through the crowd, her legs shaking but her resolve as strong as steel. Each step felt like a leap of faith. Before she could second-guess herself, she walked right up to the woman, who had just joined in the rib-tickling banter with her friends. "Excuse me," Emma called, her voice jumping out like a spark in the darkness. The woman turned, her laughter fading into a slight frown of confusion mixed with curiosity. "Hi, can I help you?" the woman asked, her eyes narrowing slightly as she sized Emma up. I just wanted to ask you something," Emma struggled, her heart hammering. "You look like someone I've been looking for. Someone very important to me." The woman's expression shifted, a mixture of surprise and something like recognition flickering at the corners of her lips. "I'm not sure what you mean," she said cautiously, but there was a warmth in her tone that encouraged Emma to continue. Emma swallowed hard, gathering her thoughts like shards of broken glass. "I'm searching for my mom. I thought maybe you could be her." The woman's eyes widened, and for a heartbeat, Emma could see the universe shift within her. "Your mom?" she echoed, her voice softer now. "What does she look like?" As Emma poured out her description, the woman's face began to change, her eyes widening with every detail. Hope ignited in Emma's chest, bursting like fireworks. The other woman took a step forward, a glimmer of something profound shifting between them, something more than just words. "Moms are hard to forget," the woman said, biting her lip. "Tell me more." Emma rounded her shoulders back, pulling her courage together. She had long brown hair, and she always wore this locket, but just then, laughter erupted from the group of friends nearby. The noise rose higher, engulfing their conversation. Emma's heart sank momentarily, as if someone had pulled the rug out from under her. The young woman placed a hand on Emma's shoulder, grounding her once again. "Let us step aside for a minute. I want to hear everything." As they moved toward the edge of the gathering, Emma felt the thrill of her journey bubbling to the surface. This was it. Maybe, just maybe, this encounter could lead her closer to the woman she longed to find, the one she had waited for all her life. But as they prepared to delve into the depths of their conversation, Emma noticed a figure lurking at the far side of the food truck, watching them intently. A sense of urgency enveloped her. Who was that? And what did they want? The chill of uncertainty coursed through her. What if this was all unraveling right before her eyes? "Emma. What's wrong?" the woman asked, sensing the tension. Emma pointed, her heart racing once again. "I don't know who they are, but I feel like they might be connected to me or to my search." What did this mean for her quest? And who was the figure that felt like a shadow from her past? Emma's heart raced as she took a step back, the excitement mingled with anxiety. Answers were so close, but fear gripped her tightly. "Stay with me," she whispered, locking eyes with the woman beside her. So much hung in the air, and as they stood on that precipice of discovery, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change. The figure moved slowly through the crowd, the vibrant lights casting shadows that danced across their features. Emma squinted, trying to make sense of the person hidden behind a cluster of festival-goers. Her pulse quickened. She felt as if all the moments of her life had led to this, a moment brimming with possibility and peril. "Who is it?" the young woman asked, her voice a soothing balm against Emma's rising panic. "I don't know," Emma replied, her voice barely a whisper. "But something about them feels familiar, unsettling. Maybe they're just here enjoying the festival," she offered, though the worry in her eyes told Emma that she, too, sensed the shift in energy. "Maybe," Emma said, wishing for clarity to pierce through the fog of uncertainty. She turned her gaze back to the woman beside her. "I didn't catch your name." "Lily," the young woman replied, her expression softening as she took an instinctive step closer. "And you?" "Emma," she said, the name slipping from her lips as if it held more weight than just an introduction. They shared a moment, a connection buzzing between them like static electricity. For just a heartbeat, the noise around them faded, a sanctuary amidst the chaos, but the figure remained in Emma's line of sight, and the tension twisted in her stomach. It was like trying to swim against an undertow, the fear inching closer with every second. "I think it's time I find out who that is," Emma said, already turning to face the crowd again. Wait. Lily grabbed Emma's arm gently, her touch surprisingly grounding. You don't have to go alone. If something feels off, let us stick together. Emma nodded, unknowingly grateful for Lily's support. Together, they approached the figure, who seemed oblivious to the world around them, clutching an old photograph tightly in their hand. As they got closer, Emma caught a glimpse of the face, a pale visage framed by unkempt hair, a deep furrow lining the forehead. There was an intensity in those eyes, something that pulled at the corners of Emma's memory, igniting emotions she didn't fully understand. Excuse me, Emma said, her voice steady as if she were trying to steady her own racing heart. Do you know me? The figure slowly turned, eyes locking onto Emma's. There was recognition there, as if pieces of a puzzle were falling into place. I've been looking for you, they said, voice hoarse yet filled with urgency. Emma's heart leaped, it was a thrill wrapping around hope and fear. Looking for me? She echoed, trying to process the weight of the words. Yes, Emma, the figure replied, taking a tentative step forward, the photograph now visible, an image of a woman with long brown hair and a familiar locket around her neck. Your mother, I know where she is. The world around Emma slipped away, everything faded beneath the intense weight of the moment. What do you mean? She asked, her voice cracking. How do you know her? Where is she? Please tell me. Lily's hand squeezed Emma's arm, grounding her, but now every word felt like a window opening into her dreams. It was all she had longed for, the kind of sudden revelation that felt too good to be true, but just as the words threatened to spill out, a nearby group burst into loud laughter again. The raucous noise broke the connection, slicing through the fragile anticipation like a knife. Listen, it's not safe here, the figure urged, their eyes darting around. I need you to trust me. We need to talk somewhere private about her and everything. Emma's mind raced, caught between the potential for reunion and the trepidation of not knowing who she was addressing. She exchanged a glance with Lily, the urgency of the moment hanging heavy in the air between them. What should I do? Emma's voice was a whisper, swayed by uncertainty yet pulling her forward. Lily showed determination. We go with them. Together. With one last steadying breath, Emma took a step toward the figure. I'm ready. Let us go, but you better not be lying. The figure nodded, a hint of relief fluttering across their features as they motioned Emma and Lily to follow. As they moved away from the festival's chaos, the energy shifted, like turning a page to an unknown chapter. Emma's heart raced with equal parts dread and exhilaration. What awaited her just beyond the next corner? Would this revelation fill the empty spaces in her life or lead her deeper into the unknown? And just who was this figure that now held the key to her past? The alley was narrow and dimly lit, a sharp contrast to the vibrant festival just beyond the threshold. Emma felt a shiver run through her as they stepped away from the crowd, the laughter and music faded into a haunting echo. The smell of greasy food and sugary treats was replaced by the metallic tang of damp concrete. Just around the corner, the figure said, their voice steady but edged with urgency. Emma watched as they looked back, eyes scanning for potential threats lurking in the shadows. We'll be safe there. Emma glanced at Lily, who wore a reassuring expression. I'm right here, she whispered, and Emma clung to that promise. The uncertainty wrapped around her like a heavy cloak. It was both familiar and terrifying. As they turned into a small courtyard dimly illuminated by flickering lights strung overhead, Emma's breath hitched. What's your name? She asked suddenly, the question exploding from her mouth. Oliver, the figure replied, their face partially obscured by shadows. I knew your mother friends long ago. She asked me to find you. Did she? Emma's heart thudded in her chest. How? Why? Questions poured out like a waterfall, unstoppable. She had to leave to protect you. But she never stopped looking. She always wanted you to know she loves you, Oliver said, their eyes softening with compassion. They held up the photograph gently, turning it toward Emma. This was her last wish, to reunite you two. Emma gazed at the image, heart swelling at the sight of her mother's youthful smile, radiant and warm. Tears pricked at the corners of her eyes. "I thought she forgot about me." "No, Emma. There's a reason for everything. Your mother has been searching for you, but she needed time." He trailed off, darkness clouding his brow as if haunted by unspoken memories. Lily stepped closer, her presence anchoring Emma. "So, where can we find her now?" she pressed, searching Oliver's face for answers. "She's in a safe house nearby," Oliver said, looking between the two women. "But it's important you understand there are people looking for her. You could be in danger if we're not careful." The word danger hung heavy in the air. Emma swallowed hard, feeling the weight of both hope and fear. "I can't lose her again," she murmured, her heart aching as she imagined coming so close to her mother only to face another loss. Oliver's expression softened even more. "I promise you will meet her. But we have to move quickly." As he began to lead them down another narrow path, Emma's mind raced. Each step drew her closer to the truth, toward a moment she had dreamed of for years. But what lay ahead? Every person they passed felt like a potential threat, a shadow lurking just out of view. "What if they find us first?" Emma whispered, her breath hitching as she glanced over her shoulder. Lily squeezed her hand. "We'll get to her, Emma. I won't let anything happen to you." Emma nodded, drawing strength from her friend's unwavering support. But as they ventured further into the dimness, she could sense the weight of Oliver's knowledge, the truths he carried and the pieces of the puzzle that still eluded her. As they turned the corner, they arrived at an unmarked door, weathered but sturdy. Oliver paused, looking at them both, his face tense. "This is it, are you ready?" Emma's heart raced, a mix of excitement and dread. "Ready as I'll ever be," she said, steeling herself for whatever lay on the other side. But before Oliver could turn the knob, a loud crash echoed through the alley, sending a jolt of fear down Emma's spine. Heart pounding, she braced herself for what came next. With a shared look between them, they knew that the fight for their futures, Emma's chance at reunion, was just beginning. What threats loomed in the shadows? And would love be enough to overcome them? The crash reverberated in the tight alley, piercing the silence like a knife. Emma's breath caught in her throat, and she instinctively pressed closer to Lily, her heart hammering in her chest. "What was that?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Oliver's face went pale as he turned sharply towards the sound, his body tense. "We need to go. Now." His urgency sent a chill down Emma's spine. Without waiting for a response, he grasped the door handle and swung it open, revealing a dimly lit stairwell. "Get in," he hissed. Emma hesitated for just a moment, caught between the safety of the unexpected refuge and the looming dread swirling around them like fog. With Lily right behind her, she stepped inside, grateful that Oliver led the way, shielding them from whatever danger prowled outside. The door creaked closed behind them, muffling the noises of the bustling festival and the alarming crash. As they descended the stairs, Emma felt the weight of her own uncertainty. What was waiting for them at the bottom? A flickering bulb buzzed overhead, casting shadows that danced along the walls. The air was heavy with an earthy smell, and the cool temperature made Emma shiver. She could feel Lily's hand beside her, steady and reassuring. "You're going to see her, Emma," Lily whispered again, her voice a soft promise in the chilly air. Suddenly, Oliver stopped, turning to face them, his expression serious. "In this part of the city, things can go sideways fast. I need you both to stay close and quiet. Just follow my lead." Emma nodded, determination blossoming within her. "I will. I just want to see my mom," she replied, her voice barely more than a whisper. Exchanging another look with Lily, Emma felt a surge of hope. She had to believe they could make it. As they reached the bottom of the stairs, Oliver pushed open another door, leading into a small room filled with old furniture and boxes. It looked like a forgotten space, filled with dust motes swirling in the dim light. There were no windows, only the faint glow of a small lamp. "Stay here," Oliver instructed, peering out into an adjoining room. "I'll check on things." Emma glanced around. The stillness in the air was almost suffocating. She could feel her heart beating in her ears as they waited. Time stretched, and the silence began to gnaw at her nerves. What if he doesn't come back? Emma murmured, fear prickling her. Sure he will. He just needs to make sure it's safe, Lily reassured, though Emma saw the flicker of worry in her friend's eyes. Minutes dragged on, and the weight of the unknown settled heavily on Emma's shoulders. She could sense the distant clamor of the festival outside, a reminder of what she was fighting for. Suddenly, Oliver re-entered the room, his brow furrowed. There's trouble. We need to move again. Now. Emma's stomach dropped. What kind of trouble? Someone spotted us. We don't have time to waste. Fear surged through her as adrenaline kicked in. But I can't go back out there. We're so close. Emma felt desperation claw at her throat. Oliver stepped forward, his gaze steady. I know this feels overwhelming, but there's no alternative. We have to reach your mother. Trust me. His words sunk deep into Emma's heart. Trust. It felt fragile, yet crucial. The notion hung between them, fragile as glass. Where do we go? Lily asked, clenching Emma's hand tighter. Oliver pointed toward a narrow hallway leading to a door at the far end. Through there. It'll lead us to another exit. One glance between Emma and Lily shared all they needed to know, they would face this together. Clenching her fists, Emma nodded resolutely. They moved as one, a ripple of hearts bound by a single purpose. As they made their way down the hallway, ready to step into the unknown, Emma could feel the tide of change rushing toward them. But as Oliver turned the handle of the door, a loud bang echoed above them. The tension crackled in the air. Emma froze, eyes wide with terror. What if it was danger closing in? What if they wouldn't reach her mother at all? Let us go. Oliver urged, pulling the door open just as the world outside seemed to explode in sound. In that moment, everything hinged on the choices they would make next, and Emma's journey to find her mother was spinning toward an unpredictable climax. Would they emerge victorious, or was the battle just beginning? Emma stepped through the door first, adrenaline pumping through her veins. The world outside was a chaotic blur of vibrant colors and noise, the street filled with festival-goers laughing, and music blasting from nearby speakers, but all that felt distant now. Her attention was fixed on Oliver, who ducked his head, scanning the scene for any signs of danger. Stay close, he whispered, and the gravity of his tone made Emma instinctively grasp Lily's hand tighter. They pushed through the throng of people, every face a stranger, every body a threat. The laughter that had once felt so joyous now echoed like a taunt in her ears. Emma's heart raced with each step, the intensity of the moment building. The proximity of her mom felt almost tangible, like a spark lighting up the darkness. We're almost there, she muttered to herself. Oliver led the way, navigating through the crowd like a ship cutting through waves. Emma could feel the anxiety pressing on her chest, but she refused to let it stifle her. Every nervous glance over her shoulder only served to fuel her determination. She had to reach her mother. As they turned a corner, Oliver suddenly halted, raising a hand to stop them. He leaned into Emma, almost shielding her with his body. I spotted someone looking for us. We need to find a place to hide, a safe spot. Emma's heartbeat quickened. What do you mean? Who's looking for us? It doesn't matter right now. Just trust me, Oliver said, urgency etched in every taut line of his face. Follow me. They ducked into a small shop that sold handcrafted trinkets and local art. The old wooden door closed with a soft click, muffling the noise of the festival outside. The shop felt like a cave, the dim light filtering in through draped fabrics casting patterns across their anxious faces. Stay quiet, Oliver instructed, his voice barely above a whisper as he peered through the window, the tension in his shoulders palpable. Emma and Lily crouched behind a display of lovely handmade jewelry, the colors vibrant but muted in that moment of fear. Emma's mind raced. Had they been seen? Would they be caught now? Why would they be looking for us? Emma asked softly, her voice trembling. What did we do? It's complicated, he replied, still watching the street. But it's crucial for us to stay hidden until we know it's safe. Moments dragged like hours. The hustle and bustle outside seemed to swallow them whole, and Emma's thoughts spiraled. What if her mom was out there searching for her, unaware of the danger? She felt a swell of guilt mixed with fear. Then, suddenly, the door to the shop burst open. A woman's frantic voice called out, "Oliver! Are you in here?" Emma's breath hitched as fear pierced through her again. Who was this woman? Did she know Oliver? Was she part of the trouble? Oliver's head snapped around, surprise flashing across his face. Stay back, he ordered, standing protectively in front of Emma and Lily. The woman stepped inside, her eyes darting around as if searching for something hidden. But the relief that washed over her recognizable features made Emma's heart flutter. It was Eliza, someone Emma didn't think she'd see again. Thank goodness you're here, Eliza gasped, her hands trembling. I was worried I'd lost you. We've got to get out. There's a man. Where is she? Emma burst out, cut off by her own desperation. Is my mom out there? Tell me she's okay. Eliza stiffened, the joy fading from her eyes. We don't have time, she urged, her voice laced with urgency. But we can't stay here. The confusion and panic began to suffocate Emma. No. I have to see her. Oliver's voice softened, but there was a hard edge to it. We need to trust Eliza. We need to move. Emma's heart pounded in her chest, fear and hope warring within her. Please, but before she could voice her confusion, the sound of footsteps echoed behind them, growing louder and nearer, a reminder that time was slipping away. Would they run or stay put? Emma's thoughts raced faster than her heart, and the crescendo of danger drew closer. Would they escape, or was everything they had fought for about to shatter? Emma, we have to move, Oliver insisted, glancing over his shoulder as the footsteps approached. The urgency in his eyes pushed Emma into action, even though uncertainty gripped her throat like a vice. With a tiny flicker of hope in her chest, Emma squeezed Lily's hand tight and darted toward the back of the shop. Come on, she urged. Eliza followed closely, keeping an eye on the entrance as Oliver took the lead. They ducked behind shelves adorned with colorful pottery and woven goods. Emma could hear the footsteps now, a pair of heavy boots, the kind of sound that made her stomach churn. Then they were moving again, squeezing through a narrow space between two shelves. Emma could feel her heart pounding as if it were trying to break free and warn them. She couldn't shake the image of her mother's worried face. They were so close yet so far. The back door of the shop was locked, a thick wooden barrier to the world outside. Oliver tested the handle, frustration flickering across his features. It's stuck, he muttered. We don't have time for this. Emma could hear the booming voice of a man outside, demanding to know if anyone had seen them. Panic surged again. What would happen if they caught her? Her breath quickened, and dread seeped through her veins. We need a distraction, Eliza suddenly said with a fierce determination. If we can create one, we might slip out the front. What do you have in mind? Oliver asked, his voice tense. Eliza looked around, her eyes landing on a colorful assortment of statues on the shelf above them. Those. If I can knock them over, it'll make a racket. They'll have to check it out. Do it, Emma urged, her voice a mixture of fear and hope. Eliza climbed up a nearby shelf and reached for one of the larger figurines. With a swift motion, she tipped it over, sending it crashing to the floor. The loud shatter echoed through the shop, drowning out everything else. The footsteps stopped, and for a fleeting moment, silence enveloped them. Now, Oliver commanded, pushing through the door leading to the alley behind the shop. They squeezed through and stumbled into the narrow passage. Emma felt a rush of adrenaline and fear as they ran. Cold air hit her face, jarring her senses. She could hear the faint sounds of the festival, the music, the laughter, but now, they felt like sirens, alerting her to the chaos around her. Left! Oliver shouted, and they turned sharply. Emma felt the pull of the crowd, people around her, ignorant of their panic. Around the corner, they pressed against the stone wall of a nearby building, their chests heaving. We have to keep moving," Emma panted, glancing back toward the shop, her heart still racing. "Where's south, the next safe place?" Lily asked, her voice small but hopeful. Eliza took a breath, eyes scanning the alley. "I know a cafe not far from here." Suddenly, another voice called, the same booming voice from before. "I know you're here, Oliver. This isn't a game." Emma froze. The fear seeped back in, gripping her like a weight. "What if he finds us?" she whispered, pressing her back against the cool brick. Oliver's gaze hardened, determination replacing the panic. "He won't. Just trust me." They took off again, eyes darting, hearts pounding. Each step felt precarious, but Emma squeezed Lily's hand, drawing strength from the contact. As they turned into a busy street filled with colorful booths and cheerful faces, something caught Emma's eye, a figure standing at the edge of the crowd, searching. Hope surged in her chest as recognition sparked. "Mom!" she choked out, but while Emma's heart raced with desperation, she saw the danger looming ahead, the man closing in on them, determination etched into his face. Was this their chance, or was disaster about to strike? Emma's heart raced as she made a choice: risk everything and call out, or stay silent and keep running. The decision loomed in front of her like the festival lights, dazzling yet terrifying. What would she choose? "Mom!" Emma's voice pierced through the joyful chaos of the festival, and every heartbeat echoed her fear. The figure at the edge of the crowd turned, eyes widening in a blend of shock and recognition. That familiar warmth radiated from her, stirring the depths of Emma's longing, but just as hope flickered bright within her, a shadow loomed, the man from before, stalking towards them, eyes devoid of kindness. Emma's instinct screamed to retreat. "Stay back!" she called desperately, pushing her way forward as she clung tightly to Lily's hand. "Emma!" Lily shouted, trying to pull her back, but Emma's heart was set. "No!" she insisted, eyes locked on the woman who might be her mom. "I have to know." "Emma, we can't." Oliver hissed, darting forward, ready to shield her. "It's not safe." But the words faded like echoes in a canyon as Emma took one step and then another, her feet moving despite the whirlwind of fear spinning in her chest. "Wait!" she cried, tears streaming down her cheeks, fueled by a mix of hope and the raw pain of the chase. "Please." The woman, her mother, hesitated, confusion washing over her features. Emma reached out, her fingers trembling. "Mom, please, it's me." The figure took a cautious step forward, but just then, the man's shadow fell across them, his voice a low growl as he shouted, "I'm not playing games. Get away from her." Panic surged through Emma, locking her muscles in place. But in that moment, something within her sparked a fierce determination, igniting the fire in her heart. She stepped in front of her mother, standing tall as she faced the danger. "You're not going to hurt her." The words ripped from her, filled with the intensity of a child seeking nothing but love. "I thought you'd disappeared." The woman gasped, her voice trembling. "Mom, I've been looking for you." Emma cried, the world falling away except for the bond they shared. The man moved closer, anger radiating from him, but he paused, surprised by Emma's fierce stance. "That's not who you think she is," he shouted, confusion coloring his voice. "You don't understand." Lily had her phone out now, ready to call for help, while Oliver stood steady, watching every move. "Emma, listen to me. This is not safe. We have to go." But Emma couldn't move. Her gaze was fixated on the woman who had held her heart captive for so long. "I want to know you. I want to understand." And just as hope seemed to deepen, the world exploded around them, the clinking of metal, the rush of voices, fear flooding the air. The man lunged toward them, but Lily was quicker, shoving Emma behind her and drawing Oliver's attention. "Now!" she yelled. That in a single moment, everything clicked. Oliver grabbed Emma's hand, surging forward, dragging them away from the oncoming storm. "Hold on!" he shouted. "We can't stop." They rushed forward, the festival lights swirling around them like a kaleidoscope as laughter and music became the backdrop to their escape. Emma felt fear coursing through her, everything she had built unraveling into chaos. But she had a sense of purpose now, ignited by the desire to protect herself and find the love that had eluded her for so long. The three of them pushed through clusters of delighted festival-goers, weaving beneath colorful tents, and into a side street that led them away from the crowd. Emma didn't look back, but she could feel the weight of longing in her chest, the shadows of what could have been, and the fierce glow of what still might be. "Just a little further," Oliver urged, determination anchoring his voice as they found a hidden alley, their breaths ragged. Each thunderous heartbeat pulsed with unspoken hopes. As they paused for a moment, chests heaving, Emma steadied herself, glancing at Lily, who looked terrified but determined. "Are we okay?" Emma breathed, scanning the street for signs of danger. "We will be," Oliver replied, standing tall like a lighthouse amidst the storm. "But we can't stop searching." Then, a voice broke through the tension, a voice that filled Emma with both fear and undeniable hope. "Emma?" She turned, breath hitching. The figure from moments before. Her mother, the ghost of her childhood, stood at the end of the alley. "Is it really you?" Time seemed to still. Hope and terror intertwined as Emma stepped towards her mother, the distance between them collapsing with each stride. Would her heart be ready for the unanswered questions, the forgotten years? As she closed the gap, Emma felt the warmth of family wrap around her like a long-lost embrace. "Mom," she whispered, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I'm here." Her mother finally stepped forward, eyes shimmering with tears of disbelief. "I never stopped looking, Emma." I thought. With a breath deep enough to bridge the years, both women reached out, fingers trembling, hearts ready to heal. It was a moment woven from the fabric of hope, love, and the threads of time. Just as they connected, the world rushed back into play. The laughter from the festival felt distant now, but the bonds forged in that alley ignited a new beginning. "We can do this together," Emma declared, feeling the strength swell within as she grasped her mother's hand tightly, a solid bridge across years of absence. As the shadows faded, they turned together, ready to face the world, their hands united, their stories intertwined. Love poured in, transforming fear into hope, and in that alley, Emma understood, this is what it meant to be whole again. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support, and you must leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Tell us your reactions and feelings about this incredible journey in the comments. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Let them feel the joy and love.